Oh my God, I hate Zoom.
There we go.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Horror Heathens YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. It is your host with the most, Benjamin Dutil, coming to you back with another awesome, amazing, and phenomenal episode. Today, I am sitting down with, oh my God, I hope my pronunciation is it Cait Moira. I hope that's
Yeah,
the right one.
close.
Okay. So, how is it actually pronounced? So I don't
It's
screw it up.
You were so close. It's Cait Moira, like Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek.
Moira Rose. Okay.
Yeah, Cait
Cait
Moira.
Moira. Okay. You can slash it later, I promise. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
She plays Nola, and now it's one of my favorite psychological horrors called Schism. So, for those who have not seen this, Schism is a psychological horror movie which carries the perspective of woman versus self as we follow Nola on a journey that has her battling to recollect her sanity. Overall, this movie is paramount, which is awesome. Two thumbs up to this film, and we know which way. We never know which way is up, which way is down, and we don't know what's actually real and what exists in Nola's mind. So the thrilling separation that she's become a part of something that is consistently creeps into the film as a result of its extraordinary setting. My guest delivers an exceptional performance, and she's here to talk more about it. So please give a very warm welcome to the awesome, the talented Cait Moira. Thank you so much for joining me. How the hell are you doing?
I am doing so well. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. I got to watch the movie yesterday evening, and holy shit, this is a how can I say this? A grand fucking mind spank. Just saying, because it
It's a good
is
way to put it. Yeah.
one of the most mind bending movies I've watched in a long time. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of the movies like this. There's a movie called The Ward,
Mm,
directed by John Carpenter.
I
Almost
haven't.
similar to that movie, but this movie is. I'm sorry,
I'll
John
see it.
Carpenter. I love you. You're the best world's best director, but this movie tops your movie. I'm so sorry.
I will have to watch that. I'm gonna write that down. The
So,
ward.
he, so he may, give me the finger or something. I don't know, whatever it is. The other, getting the middle finger from John Carpenter would be an honor anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So your role as Nora. Oh, not Nora. Jesus Christ, Nola. I'm fucking
So
up
close.
already. Look at me. I'm tongue tied. Look at me. Okay. So thank you for joining me. I know you have a very busy schedule, and I appreciate you taking the time out for wherever you're at. I'm sure it's probably still daylight wherever you are. I don't know.
No, my
Can you please?
pleasure.
Okay. Oh, no. The honor and pleasure is all mine, ma'am. I promise. So please give, if you could, please give us a little bit of detail about yourself and how you were bit by the acting bug.
Mm, okay, yes. So I grew up mostly in Virginia. I was always loved storytelling. I loved making people laugh, which is ironic because this movie is not really a laugh riot, but I think that was like my vehicle into falling in love with acting. I loved Lucille Ball and I Love Lucy. And then as I got older, I fell in love with psychological thrillers. So I don't know what the pipeline was for that, but yeah, but I had really two incredibly supportive parents that, yeah, were just really, have always been behind me. And I went to New York right out of high school, studied acting there. I was there for a while. And then about 2 years ago, I moved to Los Angeles. So it is daylight. It is daylight here. Hate to break it to you. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was a weird time to move to LA. It was the strike, but kind of despite that, hit the ground running and, picked up this project and it's been great. It's been really great. And I have a dog and two cats. And so I think my day-to-day life is quite peaceful, quite boring because I'm so attracted to these projects that are larger than life and like horrifying. So I think my day-to-day life has to be calm for me to thrive there.
So may I ask, you don't have to answer. May I ask where in Virginia are you located? Because I lived in Virginia for 3 years.
Oh yeah. A small town right outside Richmond. So kind of
Please don't
central.
tell please don't tell me it's Fredericksburg because it's Fredericksburg. I'm gonna shit my pants.
No, but I had a lot of friends in Fredericksburg. Fredericksburg was
Okay,
a little north, I think.
okay.
Yeah, it was.
Are you from Spotsylvania? Because if you were, I'm gonna shit my pants.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. No,
Okay,
but it's
but
beautiful there.
closely.
Is that where you lived?
No, well, I was in the Navy, so I was stationed in Norfolk for three
Okay.
years. But then again, after I got out, I moved up north to Virginia, up not Virginia, to Fredericksburg to live with my uncle for a couple of years, and
It's
to so I could
beautiful.
he was handicapped, so I went to live with him for a couple of years to get help him get back on his feet
Mm.
until he was able to be stable and do what he had to do to live out the rest of his life. So, but I did work in a restaurant called Damon's, which is located in Fredericksburg.
Oh, that's so
I fucking
funny.
hated it. It was the worst restaurant ever to
I'm
work in.
sure.
So anyway, Fredericksburg was
Shout
nice.
out Damon's.
I love Fredericksburg because I love the Civil War, reading about the Civil War,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and Fredericksburg is like Civil War Central. So,
Virginia is a
yeah,
great
and
place to be if you love history. It's
so yeah,
chock full of it. It's
I
beautiful too.
love,
I love Virginia. It's gorgeous.
and yeah, it is. Especially Northern Virginia, like all the woods and stuff like that. I've
Yeah,
actually
so
got
green.
lost in the woods one time going to a friend's house. I'm driving around Fredericksburg. I had this is before GPS, so I had
Ugh.
no idea where I was going. I was lost for like 3 hours.
I was gonna
I'm
ask
freaking.
3 hours.
I was
That's
freaking out because it was
lost.
night. It was nighttime in the woods, no lights or nothing. So I'm just driving around. I'm freaking out, and then I finally see like a main street. I was like, oh, thank God. So I
Oh
get
my
there,
gosh.
and it's this tiny little gas station with no one there. The creepiest gas station ever. One cell phone, and I'm like, do I want to get out of my car? I mean,
Right. Well, that's your horror film right there. Oh my gosh.
so
I'm
yeah.
surprised you can still stomach watching horror films after an experience like that.
And thankfully, I had some quarters in my car, so I could make a phone call and call my uncle. Say, hey, I'm lost. I have no idea where the hell I'm at. He's like, well, can you describe it? I was like, I'm on a road and a gas station. He's like, is it a small gas station with one pump? I was like, yeah. He's like,
Oh
I know
my
exactly where
gosh.
you are. So
He
yeah,
knew.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he got me home, which is great. Anyway, I digressed. So,
Fond memories of Virginia for
but
you.
but anyway, I'm never. I was like, after that, I never drove at nighttime again in Fredericksburg, Virginia.
That's really fair. That's really fair.
I requested the morning shift every morning for David's because I was not driving. I know I'm never doing that shit again.
No, that's
So
scary.
anyway, back to you and your role in this movie. So your role as Nora. No, not, I keep wanting to say Nora. I was just watching a strain and one of the
Nola.
characters' name is Nora. So anyway, and
I know.
Nola, like New Orleans Nola. Anyway, um, so what made you what appealed you to audition for that role?
Mm. Yeah, I'm thinking back now to when I got the audition, and I've always just loved psychological thrillers. I think I love a challenge. I love watching psychological thrillers. I love reading psychological thrillers. So I love a mystery. Um, I I like getting to dive into kind of like the darker parts of humanity. I think a lot of actors like that, it's these things that we can't or don't really, these places we don't go to in our everyday life. So it's juicy and exciting. Um, and I think at that point, it was funny because I was auditioning for this at the same time that I was auditioning for a rom-com. So I think that I was just so, the rom-com, I ended up booking both and they were back to back, which was so funny. It's such so different. But I think I was so excited to get to do something darker and I mean, she's such an interesting character too, because so much lives beneath the surface. And so I was excited through the process of, I mean, if I booked it, hopefully I was excited to work with the director and like work on peeling back the layers of like who she actually is and who she actually was. And how does that help tell our story? And then putting the pieces back on top so it's not so obvious to the audience, if that makes sense. I was just excited because there was so much to do with her.
Right. So, what is her story? Why did she wind up in where she wound up at? Do you? Would you give it a backstory about Nola?
We did talk about her backstory. And the director had come I met Thor Moreno, the director, like halfway through him filming this thing, and it actually changed a lot in the time that we filmed it, and then we did a couple of reshoots, and the story changed a little bit, but the core of the story was always there. And so we did talk about the backstory, but of course, I think there were things that Thor was intentionally keeping me in the dark about for the sake of Nola's, progression throughout the story and the things that she's in the dark about herself. But ultimately we did talk about her story and also the way that Mara plays into this story as well. Um, and I don't want to give too much away, but I'm like trying to think how not to spoil it. But the way that they live together in Nola's world. Um, oh my gosh, I got so off track. I'm so
It's okay.
sorry. The question was how like about Nola's story. So we talked a lot about her upbringing with her parents and that opening shot in this in the movie um is a depiction of that. Um I don't know if that it was apparent, but that was yeah, that was kind of where her story starts for her. But in terms of how she got that way, I think Thor left that up to my interpretation, I guess the ambiguity, he let that be my process of figuring out why she is the way she is. And
Right, right. I get it. So while playing your character on screen, you're filming, you're doing sequences, you're on set, and did you put any of yourself into your character, or did you just follow the script?
well, so with a character like this, I hesitate to say because people are going to be like, "What?" Because she's not the most well person, but I put so much of myself into her. I think I didn't know where else to come from if not from myself. And we're all operating from a place of what we're doing every day is the best thing we could be doing for ourselves and our agenda. So I just operated like that, uh yeah, I brought so much of myself to her and I think so much of I really personalized the relationships in her life as well, like Mara and the place that she was living at, what that would mean for me. Um yeah, yeah, I personalized a lot of it.
That's good. I mean, and the director was actually eased with that. I mean, knowing that you were able to put some of yourself into the character and keep it, which is good. That means, um, I'm not sure what they call that method acting, I guess. How you're
It
able to
technically is, yeah.
to
Yeah. It's not like I was living as her day in, day out. But what's funny is we were staying in that house. So I think that also brought in a lot for me too, because I was like sleeping in her bed, all these things. But I wasn't going method in that way, but it was the actual sort of method.
so
Um,
you got to see you actually got to sleep on the set.
yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that. No.
Crazy, right? I know. Luckily, it was like a lot of people were in that house. I was not alone. I would have been terrified because we were out in the woods in Northern California. Yeah, I could not have done that.
So props to you for doing that. Major kudos, because I don't think I'd be able to do that. I mean, I love camping, but not like that. So, after reading the script and knowing what you're about to get into, knowing that your character suffers from mental illness, in which this movie kind of hit home for me because I am a huge advocate for mental illness. PTSD, anxiety, depression from combat to wars overseas. Um, and we see the
Yeah.
progression beginning like toward the end, from beginning to the end. Was it difficult for you to get into that mindset?
It's a really interesting question. And the short answer is yes. I wouldn't say it was like so difficult. It was more exhausting. I think it was like a very exhausting place to live in for so long. But it's funny because like the more intense scenes where I cry a lot and it's very emotional. And what tapped me into that quickly, that felt a little bit healthier for me, was coming from a almost like this it's a little cerebral to explain, but like this place of joy in a really weird way where like it was like the loss of joy. But I would think about a certain person or time in my life that like would never come again. And but they brought me joy, like thinking about this person or this time. It brought me joy, but there it was also like, oh, I'll never have that again. And so for whatever reason, that to me was just like a safer, healthier place for me to go than super, I don't know. And it made sense to me with Nola that, she had that too, where I think the things that made her, she lost so much of the things that made her who she is and what the things she loved. So yes, it was kind of difficult, but it was very interesting. It was just exhausting. It was exhausting and
I
like
get it.
my
I
face
can
was
see.
puffy.
So I have there's a saying that there's a saying in the TV show called Mindhunter. I don't know if you ever watched the TV show
I
Mindhunter on
haven't.
Netflix. It's about two FBI agents who interview serial killers who are in prison.
Mm,
And one thing, Agent Bill Tench, I've got played by I can't remember his real name. The character's name is Agent Bill Tench, and he tells his director, he's like, "Sir, if we want to get ahead of crazy, we need to know crazy." So,
mm, mm,
which makes 100% total sense, right? So,
yeah.
but leading to this question is, what did you do? What did you do in order to prepare for this role, knowing that your character had mental illness?
Um, yeah, I wanted to take care of her. I wanted the depiction of mental illness, I wanted it to be with, um, I didn't want to just be like vague about it for myself. I wanted to be intentional with Thor about what, what is going on, what's actually been going on with her um, and how does that change her world that she lives in. And I had a lot of, despite the ending. I had a lot of compassion for her and a lot of love for her, just figuring her out and her pain and where it lives. So yeah, I didn't want to be, I don't know. I wanted to be cautious and careful with her in that
Yeah,
way,
yeah, fair enough. I mean, so,
as much as I
I,
could.
yeah, no, it's good. No, you did. No, you delivered, which is a really good. It was really good. So, I mean, you had me believing you actually suffered from mental illness, your character. So, I mean, you were that damn good. So, like I said, you performed exceptionally well in this
Thank
movie, and so pat yourself on the back, give yourself a high five, do what you gotta do to celebrate. I mean,
you.
shit. I mean,
Thank you. I appreciate
because
it.
you did it, you nailed it. So, in this movie, which I absolutely fucking love, this is the part I wanted to talk about the entire interview. So, there are a lot of dream and nightmare sequences in which create a surreal and unsettling experience for the audience. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'll say, right? So I think I know watching the movie what all is a dream, what is real life. But I think it was kind of intentional on Thor's part, on Thor Marina, the director and writer, to keep me a little bit in the dark about some of it. But I'm pretty sure it was either like in the script, there were a couple times it was marked as like a dream sequence. So I was very sure about that. But there are some scenes that live in that sort of liminal and you're not sure. And I think that's kind of the point, is you're really taken on this ride with Nola throughout the story where you and she are not sure of what is real or or who's telling her the truth. And she herself is almost this unreliable narrator and you're living in her world. So everything's a little bit unreliable. Um, so yeah, the dream sequences were super fun to film, actually. I think they were kind of freeing because we got to be kind of like artsy and moody and the whole part where Nola goes in and finds the tapes. All of those parts, like and again, that wasn't a dream sequence or anything, but is it? Like, I think the whole movie you could say, is this a dream sequence? Like,
Yeah, right, right.
yeah. So it was fun to get to play around with those.
I can see that. I can tell. I love how you're being passionate about this. This is really cool. So it's giving me goosebumps actually. So
I love that.
because
No, it
because
was so fun.
because, like I said, it's one big giant fucking mind spank, and I love it.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so it had me second guessing half the time. Like I'm like I had to pause it for a second. I'm like, what the hell am I watching here? So, and then I'm looking around. I'm looking at other people because I'm sitting in the little friends and shit. And then they're looking at this and they're getting the same look. I'm like, we have no fucking clue what's going on. So,
I know.
so
I know.
asking my friends like, dude, could you? Because I'm usually pretty quick about figuring this shit out, but not today, man. What's going on here?
You gotta
So
ride it out. You gotta ride this one
yeah.
out, I think. Yeah.
So I think it was up to the director to leave it to the director to leave it up to audiences what they wanted to actually believe in the film.
Hmm.
So um this movie takes place on an island, which there seems to be a lot of isolation. And that's one of my biggest fears is being isolated somewhere, like being marooned or isolated somewhere. And do you think that's what affected your character's ability to distinguish what's real and what's not?
This is a great question. I actually think I think she's all like from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, we see, and this is a bit of a spoiler, um, or
Fuck it,
hints
go
at a
ahead.
spoiler. Um, she's an unreliable narrator, you know, like from the start to the finish. So I think maybe the island, the isolated area could speed up the progression of that, but I think she is what brings that um chaos. Like I think it's her. I think it's in her from start to finish, even at the ward in the beginning. You know, I think she's just always been, again, like the best thing I can say is an unreliable narrator. I think we don't know what's real or not because of her being the lens that we're looking at this world through.
Now there goes her street cred.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks a lot, writers. You just make it look terrible. Appreciate it. So one of the biggest things I like, another big thing I like about this movie is that the exploration of the theme. Holy shit. I mean, it has the ability to have the audience questioning every single scene, right? Every single sequence, and which is being presented to them because, I'm watching it, my friends are watching it, and like I said, we had to ask each other 1,000 times what the hell's going on. So, do you think that was the writers and directors' intention?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Knowing Thor also now, like, absolutely. I think that is, and I think that's a testament to his genius and his writing and his directing as well, is that it, it, again, we're living through her. You know, I think because she's the one that we're seeing this story through, that's what I love about it is that it is this wild ride of trying to catch up. And she's also trying to catch up. And and you're kind of on the ride alongside her until the end, you're like, oh shit. Wait, what just happened? So absolutely. I think I don't want to speak for Thor. He can speak for himself, but I would put my money on that that was his intention.
Shit, I absolutely agree. I mean, if the writers and directors could present something like this to the audience and have them second guessing all the time, then shit, you got my vote for movie of the year. I mean, seriously, because again, grand fucking mind spank. I'm gonna keep emphasizing that. I don't care if I have to it. So,
It's a great saying. They should put that on
so
the poster.
grand fucking mind spank. Um,
Yeah.
so I cannot imagine what the challenges were like while filming this movie. But I can bet that your rhythm while playing this character was in shock due to the location and the role you had to play. So, did it take? Was it hard for you to transition back to a normal day life after playing this role?
Yeah. Well, again, a great question. What's like I mentioned a little bit earlier, what was so funny about it was that right after this one, I flew to Georgia and I filmed a rom-com. So it could not have been more different. And so I think, and honestly, both were challenging in their own ways, but I think, once I came back to LA after the rom-com, I was like, I was like, I need a second. I need to like come up for air and figure out what's going on. But what's so funny, and I hope this doesn't make me sound I hope that, yeah, well, whatever. While I was filming the rom-com, I would have dreams as Nola, like when I was sleeping, but like things that centered more around like she had no privacy there. We saw her being super vulnerable in a lot of ways. So, and I would dream about like the island and things like that. And so she was kind of hard to shake. Yeah, it was hard to fully let go of the work that we did there so intensely.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to, okay, so kudos again to you for being able to go into a horror psychological thriller into a rom-com and
It
transition that
was
fast.
interesting.
So, I mean, you're doing the rom-com. Next thing you start saying lines from the movie Schism, and
Right.
the director probably says like, "Cut!" Like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, "Oh shit, my bad." So,
I know, very different. There just couldn't have been more. It was just funny at that point. And maybe doing the rom-com was actually good. Like maybe that helped me, shake off some of the intensity. But yeah, it was very, very funny.
so after the people seeing this movie, the audience is thinking, "What the fuck's going on?" And knowing Nola's fate at the end of the film, if there's anything you can change, anything you can flip the script, what would it be?
Mm, it's an interesting question. If there's like for just in her life.
Anything in general, what would you change about the whole entire film?
Ooh. Hmm. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, because I love her, I would make it like a happy ending or, more positive ending. But I love when films kind of end the way that it did. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just, yeah, I can't even, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if I'd like to give my opinion, if I may. I
Yeah,
would have loved to
please.
see a happy. I would have loved to see a happy ending for Nola. Um, just because not every movie deserves a happy ending, but this one does. Because Jesus Christ, dude, mental illness is not something you don't fuck around with. So it's a huge thing, and
Yeah.
seeing your character like developing from beginning to end, knowing that she's slowly declining downhill and can't tell what's real and what's a nightmare and what's a dream. It sounds like a tornado of just a shitstorm, pretty much. Sounds like. So
Absolutely. It
so
was. Yeah, it is. I agree. I agree. I think there's a story out there where Nola gets a happy ending, and redemption and peace.
maybe they'll come with a sequel or something, and then bring you back, and it shows Noah, leaving the war. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah,
happy now, fuckers. Rainbows and
right.
sunshine,
Right?
unicorns with rainbows coming out its ass. I'm
I
riding
like
a
this
fucking unicorn as
idea.
motherfucker. So screw you, motherfuckers. I'm gonna impale you with the horn. All right. Anyway,
I like this idea. A little happy ending sequel.
so what's next for you? Anything coming you that you're allowed to talk about that can help promote you, that can help you
Yes.
get across social media?
Thank you. Yes, actually, we're kind of in the heart of it right now. I did a Western TV show and I filmed it earlier this year and it just premiered last week. It's the second season. I wasn't on the first season, but you can watch the first season on Amazon Prime. It's called Elkhorn. But season two is coming out with weekly drops. So the first episode was out last Thursday on INSP at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then this episode two is actually tonight. So I'm excited to get to see it.
What's it called again?
It's
Elkhorn?
called Elkhorn, Elkhorn.
Okay, Elkhorn. Okay, cool. I'm gonna
Thank you.
put that in the description. So yeah, that's all the questions I got for you. Thank you so much
That
for
was
joining me today. I really
great.
appreciate it. So anyway, I'd like to wish you nothing but success in your career and whatever future endeavors you got going on, future projects. And I would definitely see you again on the big screen. I might go watch this Elkhorn because I do like westerns.
It's
So
fun. It's fun.
a slight tidbit that everybody should not know about me is that I like westerns. Okay, keep that shit on the down low. All right.
Don't tell a soul.
Until this video gets published, then I'm fucked. Anyway,
No, thank you so much. This was really fun. Thank you for having me.
thank you. The honor and pleasure is all mine. And definitely see you in the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the wonderful, the talented Cait Moira. I hope I said that right again. If not,
You
you can punch
did.
me later.
No, you
Okay.
got it.
Uh, Check out the movie Schism now. Distributed by Terror Films, which I absolutely love. If you love big, grand fucking mind spanks, this movie is good for you. All right. You have a wonderful evening, and I will see you around.
You too. Thank you so much, Ben. You take care.
Thank you.
Okay.